Hello, 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 and welcome back to Kaiserredux. We got one of our divisions trapped and destroyed in a video, but it looks like we might be able to achieve a much larger pocketing here in Spain over here. The situation in China's bad. Situation in the Far East is totally stable, which is probably bad. Situation in Burma is like neutral. Like nothing is changing. I need to move these guys. It just doesn't make too much sense to do anything else. So I don't know where to put them. Maybe over here? We'll give it a shot. Situation in Nicaragua is great, on the other hand. Never been better. We are going to try to do a little bit of rushy rush. I am not going to let my guys get trapped again, he says. Not being sure whether or not that's possible. Here is the thing. We need to, like, be on that side, because that's the side where there aren't any enemies. Because we can just capitulate these guys instantly. Real good for us. Is this occupied states? It's not going to count. We can knock these guys out of the war right now. Alright. You need to go here. There we go. Guatemala has capitulated. That's what I want. Insular India has joined the Co-Prosperities here. What? They're just independent? What the heck? This is a Borneo Free State. They don't have a focus tree. Which is weird, because this is Kaiserredux. Like, everyone has a focus tree. Anyways, good for them. Alright, Alright, Spain. Alright, we have completed our little encirclement. Look how cool we are. We need to do, like, crunch back. So. Nope, not how you do it. There you go. Anyways, how are things going in the Syndicate? Bad, but, you know, could be better. Could be worse, I guess, but not really. We're gonna try to, like, push to Fort Wayne. Oh dear. At this point, the thing that we're really trying to do is not lose to this constitutional American Republic. Is maybe the thing I have decided we are doing. But whatever, it hardly matters. We'll have to crump them later. It is what it is. Okay, this went incredibly well. Nicaragua. That went good for us. That went very good for us. Now it just leaves... What was this, Honduras left? Hondurans remain. More reliability, more production cost. I don't know about that. Sure, reliability is nice. Armor versus resource penalty. Fuel usage versus max speed. I feel like the answer for me is always go for the most expensive tank. That's always the right choice. Because, like, tanks are ultimately a thing that you're not going to want to produce an insane amount of. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Medium tanks! We're finally here! Not yet, 1939. I would love to produce my sort of, like, Defendo infantry tank type units. Armor piercing bombs. Depth charge, active sonar. Sure, we'll just do active sonar. Whatever. How are we doing in the left KMT? You know, it's alright. It's okay. Could be better. Really could be a lot worse. Really could be a lot better. What are we doing in Burma? Nothing interesting is happening in Burma. I really kind of feel like I don't know. I feel like my participation here is fairly redundant. We have a good amount of trucks. Let me see if I can do something. How are we on trucks anyway? We got a lot of them. The fall of Detroit. Blow to the syndicates. Our finest hour. What childish fantasy. Oh boy. Huh. Criticize the books. Huh. Yeah, I've not seen the most curious criticism. Most curious criticism, however, came from Germany itself. A publisher of the book expected responses from the German establishment. The overwhelming amount of letters to the stress of Churchill came from fringe political figures. But the leader of the rapidly nationalistic faction within the SPD, Paul Lensch, and the various leaders of the Austrian Deutsche Arbeiterparty criticized the book for supposedly mocking the ideas of Volksgemeinschaft through the literary mirror of Dressler's People Socialism. It was even more surprising that two strongly worded responses came from people Winston Churchill never heard of. These being the leader of the Bavarian branch of the DAP, Anton Drexler, and Konrad Heinlein, leader of the Deutsche Böhm Heimatfront in Bohemia. They accused the author and the publisher of using their personal information for a negative character. Drexler, seeing a clear connection between his surname and that of Adams, and while Heinlein alleged that certain editions of photo modeled drawings of Dressler on those official photos, so far, Lord Churchill refused to comment on the accusations, the publishing house noting such attacks were ridiculous and unfounded. What childish fantasy. That, I think, is a Kaiserredux. I don't remember that from Kaiserreich, but, like, maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. We won! We did it! We won this particular war. Huzzah! Huzzah! Let's make me some more Division Alpine. And also, probably some more Division Federale. That's not bad. We actually can do this sort of People's War style thing, which, you know, I don't know how feasible that is, given that we are, like, anarchists, but I don't know. Maybe it is feasible. I don't know if it's, like, total nonsense. Hey, we did it! Let's go! Nicaragua wins the war by themselves with no help whatsoever. Formation of Central America. The International shall be the human race. Let's go. United Mexican States. They are totalists. Who knows what shall come of it. The first Bruges International Art Festival. The first Bruges International Art Festival is held today. Only thanks to the efforts of both Britain and France in creating the international avant-garde, such a festival took place. The artwork included many famous syndicalist realist paintings commissioned by the French government. What French government? No comment. As well as many British, Russian, and American paintings, and a mural painted by Diego Rivera. That guy, he's a weirdo, but kind of cool. The event will be lasting into the weekend and has attracted worldwide attention. We will enjoy the spotlight for now. It's the first of many. The government will make sure of it. Again, what government? We're anarchists. We don't have a government. I mean, like, in a mechanical sense we do, but that's because we're playing a game about taking over the world. Like... Alright, here's what we're actually going to do. Oh, Right, I'm like, I somehow managed to delete another unit. No, that was the one that I lost doing the thing that I did. Okay. Getting this big surround actually may have made that kind of justified, because I am killing units I'm going to have to fight later. So, like, kind of good? I mean, your sacrifice was not in vain? Yeah, dude. Yeah, we'll get non-aggression with you. Zelda. You said it. Maybe. There we go, there we go. Working women, let's go. Officers Initiative, empower the riflemen, Grand Army reform. That's the line that we should do. Right now. Right here. Let's go. Pew, 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 pew. Popping helmets. Pew, 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 pew. See you later, French national state. Pew, 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew. Volunteers have returned. This time they have returned in triumph. Huzzah. We have done it. Can these guys just, like, transition to being tank guys? Nope. We need 3,000 light tanks. We have 200. Okay, maybe one of you can transition. Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah! Woohoo! Alright, our suffering was not in vain. However, what is happening here is kind of a disaster, and we need to resolve it like ASAP. We're gonna go to Tarragona. Just go there. Okay. That worked! Even if we lose this, I consider that to have worked. I consider that to be justifiable. How are things going here? Bad. But, like, again, it could be worse. Could be a lot better, though. I'll be completely honest. Oh, Wang Jingwei, you have pushed very far, and now you're being pushed all the way back to where you started, which must feel pretty bad. I'll be completely honest. Now we're doing the Far East. What? We're not doing anything in the Far East. Maybe we should start. Doctrines! We're gonna do deep battle. Reduces our supply consumption, which, oh my gosh, that rules. We need more artillery. Boy, we sure do. We're doing Red Spain. We're like, basically, we're resting and recovering. We want to try to take back Valencia. The thing we don't want is to knock out the Carlists completely. We actually want to keep them around. Really, what now we should do is probably form some sort of Devil's Pact. Deal with the devil sort of situation. Weeaboo indeed. You said it. How are we doing in Burma? Bad. That's alright. Sure, we'll go here. Who needs supply? Illyrian Soviet Republic. What? The what? I'm sorry, the what? Okay. What? What? We have entered the Kaiserredux zone. Boy, we sure have. Okay. Devilish devils. Why can't we join... Anyways. How are we doing here? Badly. Poorly. Badly. Red Spain! Alright, we're gonna go here. We can get like an easy surround. Just nice and easy. Alright. Here's what's gonna happen. Most of you are gonna attack here. Or half of you are gonna attack there, half of you attack there. And we're gonna grab Valencia like it's no big deal. We're gonna march here, but no further. Because I don't want to do the thing I did last time. We're gonna march back. I want to take Cartagena, but I won't. Restraint. Restraint. The key is restraint. Kunming national government declared war on the Guangzhou People's Government. Okay, sure. Whatever. You do you, man. Okay, we are now in a bit of a dire strait. We maybe need to start looking out for ourselves. In terms of the China situation, we maybe need to just like look out for ourselves and not worry too much about the situation going on outside of us. So things are going badly. Okay. We have locked down Valencia. Do we want to try to go further? Of course we do. Why wouldn't we? But we have locked down our flank, which is kind of the critical thing that we needed to do. You don't need to push any further. That's fine. I think we're going to probably try another thrust towards Madrid. It's a bit of a chaotic sort of play, but whatever. Whatever. Remember, some of you need to hold that position. What? Some of you need to hold that position, the rest of you can be flexed. They've declared war on the Mongolian Peasants' Khanate. Weird. Okay. I mean, I suppose that makes sense. Thrower, airplane catapult. Sure, we'll improve our airplane catapult. Whatever. Barely paying attention to Navy. It's just sort of how you play this game. We have a mine-clearing vehicle. Cool. Whatever. You should go here. And then try to push here. There you go. Look at that. What a way to go. Alright, some dude fell ill. How are we doing with the left KMT? Uh-oh. Remember what I was saying about looking out for myself? Right. We need to get to Woohoo. You need to stay in Wushai. Wushai? Wushai? Ooh, I'm just realizing this is the corridor I need to hold because I can't cross this lake. Here's what I need to do. I need to hold this corridor. I need to get to Wuxi, and then I think I tap out. I need to evacuate my soldiers. In me. Alright. Well, we begin pulling back to our fallback positions. Give officers initiative. We pull back from Wuxi. We probably pull back to this tile here. How are we doing everywhere else? Burma. This is a waste of my time. What the heck? Or maybe it's not. Apparently, it's proving wildly successful. What the heck? Okay. We have a lot of XP. Boy, this is good for us gaining XP. Fighting a lot. No, wait. We just gained 150 XP from Officers Initiative. That's actually pretty significant. Empower the Riflemen. Boy, that's going to be good.
Continue d'avancer. Pas de pitié.
Alright, pulling out. Whoa, 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 whoa. What the... What is the... What? What is the Princely Confederation? What is happening? What? Okay, I mean, it's not that weird, I guess. With the Princely Federation, not to be confused with the Princely Confederation. They're two completely different things that have nothing to do with each other. Austrian Empire declared war on the Czech Republic. The Austrian Empire appears to be collapsing. Social Democrat on Social Democrat violence! This guy looks really scary, but, like, I don't know. I don't know if he's actually scary. I don't know what he is IRL. How are we doing in left KMT? Bohemian Revolutions. The Austrians must endure yet another test. Alright, we are done in China. See you later. Bye. Alright. Boy, we are not having a winning record in terms of volunteerism. I'm really debating the value of continuing to support the People's Revolutionary Army from, like, a realpolitik perspective. We're going to have a bear of a time fighting the Germans, I tell you what. I will see you when we do that. Probably not in the next episode. Bye-bye.